All right, I've got my friend Sandee Lutz with CrossCountry Mortgage. She is in our renovation department, and we're going to do several series of different types of loans within the renovation arena. So, some of these you can do as a purchase, some you can do as a refinance, some you can only do as a purchase. So, today we're going to talk about USDA. Sandee Lutz, thanks so much for joining me today. You've done an amazing job at helping me with so many renovation clients, and we really appreciate it. So, tell me a little bit about renovation department first. What do you do for our clients?
So we are your supporting role for your renovation loan. So my team, all we do is renovation. So all we work on all day long is renovation loans. I think it's a different product. It's a little bit more tedious. The way to get them done in a timely fashion is to have everyone in the department focused on renovation loans. And that's what we do here. I think
That's
we're
all
really,
they do. That's all you
all we
do,
do.
just
Yep.
renovation.
Yep.
Okay. What's different about the process for a client up until the time they're ready to go find the contractor? Is there anything different about the application process?
So the application process is basically the same, right? If you qualify for any FHA, VA, USDA loan, you're going to qualify for the renovation part, but you do have to get your contractor in line and get us the renovation plan so that we can get that appraisal on order. It is a future value, future product. We're lending on something in the future. So we got to
Yes,
tell the
you're lending
appraiser.
on the value and the condition of the property in the future.
Correct.
If
We
I have a house that's worth 400,000 right now and I want to put $50,000 kitchen remodel into it, I can do that.
absolutely, absolutely.
And and on USDA, it's zero down payment. That's 100% financing. The
Correct.
mortgage insurance is extremely attractive. 1% upfront, 0.35 monthly. Lower than FHA, lower than conventional. Very attractive. Okay. The upfront is lower than VA.
Correct. VA is
Right.
like 0.15. Yes.
Now, we always like to share the good, the bad, and the ugly because we're about reality here, aren't we?
Okay, absolutely.
So, USDA, you got to have pretty darn good credit scores.
Yeah, 620 is what they're going to look for, but it's more the
Minimum. I'm
ratios.
seeing USDA, you got to be 645, 675, really. But yes, it allows for as little as 620. But if you had a 620, your debt ratio must be absolutely remarkable. Okay.
Correct.
But we can do it. Now, USDA does not allow you to own any other properties. You can't
Correct.
own anything else, right? So
Correct.
if we're doing a purchase, you cannot own any other real estate.
Correct.
This has got to be the only one. Now, you could buy a home, go USDA, build that home USDA, then eventually turn it into a rental and then go get another loan. You don't have to give up your USDA. You just couldn't get another one.
Correct. Correct.
Right. So, a lot of benefits to USDA. Also, you have to have a property that's located in a geographically approved area for USDA. But we handle all that for you. We search the property address. We'll tell you if it's a USDA qualified house. Now, for
Correct.
people that want to go out and buy a home and they're pre approved, if they wanted this type of a product, they would call us. We'll determine whether that property is USDA qualified, right? Easy, super easy. So then once the client is pre-approved for their USDA renovation loan, then they have to go find a contractor, correct?
Yes, they do. They're going to need to find somebody that's licensed and insured.
Absolutely. So you find somebody that's like a legitimate person, not just your brother-in-law that was a really good handyman one day. That's not going to work. And no self-help work.
No, you're going to need to get a contractor for anything that we want to include in the loan.
Okay. Now, if I was doing a kitchen and I was doing a kitchen and I had a cabinet guy and a floor guy and a plumber, do now I got to have a GC to coordinate all that.
Yes, that's
But
the
if I'm
easiest way
just
to do
doing
it.
floors,
Yep.
I don't need a contractor. I can just contract with the flooring company.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We would allow for that. They will have a business license. They might
It's
not have a
when
contract
it's
license, but they'll
when
have
you have
something.
multiple trades that we start looking at. You got multiple tradespeople in it. We need one person that's going to coordinate the whole thing. And
Absolutely.
then what does the contractor need to supply?
Just his license, his insurance. We ask him to fill out a packet of papers and then we'll validate the information in there. It's super simple. It's not nearly as detailed of an approval as, say,
Okay, but then the
construction.
contract between the contractor and the client need to be very specific though. So
There's
you need
something
that.
we will send out.
Okay. So they need to break down the description of materials in detail, the cost breakdown, the
Yep.
scope of the work to be done, and
Yep.
those kind of things.
Yeah, we want it as detailed as possible because that's the information the appraiser is going to get to determine that future value. So if you're doing
Absolutely.
a Home Depot kitchen, that's a whole lot different than custom cabinets and granite countertops. We need that detail in the bid.
Well, something else that I've discovered over my years of doing renovation loans, even construction to perms, is attention to detail on that cost breakdown not only helps the appraiser, but it eliminates the unknown for the consumer. I go as far as to saying, all right, you wanted carpet in this room. It's a Mohawk carpet number 72746A and this color dye lot, and we're getting this many yards of it. So it's specific. I had a situation and it was on a pool pump where the buyer thought that the pool pump was supposed to be 2 horsepower. And the pool guy said, you only need 1.5. And the whole thing, they got in a big argument over it. It doesn't work. It's not enough. So you want to be specific that it would be a General Electric pool pump, 1.5 horsepower. Then it's specific, right?
I agree with
That
that.
makes
And we
it-
will actually, yes, yeah, we'll have a pre-close call where we have the contractor and the homeowner on the call. And we bring the scope of work up and we go through it. Does everybody agree that this is what you're getting? And that really eliminates a lot of issues post-closing.
So tell me a little bit about who would the typical customer be that really needs a product like the USDA construction and renovation project. We'll get into FHA, VA, and conventional on additional segments after this. You'll be able to go to my YouTube page at Bruce Woodburn, the Loan Arranger, and you'll see the whole series of these interviews with Sandee. So what would some of the benefits be for somebody and why would they want this?
But I would think a first-time home buyer because it's 100% financing. So somebody that doesn't have a lot of money, it's a good product for them. Somebody that maybe needs a new roof, right? In Florida, you can't get insurance a lot of times because your roof is old. We can include the cost of that roof in your renovation loan for you. Maybe you need the hurricane windows, whatever the 4-point inspection brings up, that all of those things can be included. And then if they choose to, they can do the wish list stuff too, the fun stuff, the new floors, the new windows, the new kitchens, bathrooms. There is no limit to what the renovation loan says you can do. It just has to appraise for your total costs.
Well, I appreciate that. Anything else you would like to add to this that would be helpful for our listeners?
Yeah, I just think that renovation is out there. Don't shy away from it. It's not as scary as it used to be. If you've got the right people driving the bus, you're going to get to the closing table. It has a bad rap. I get that, but it's not because of us. It's because
No, it's
people
not.
trying
I
to
think
don't
it's
know what they're
because of a
doing.
lot of the banks, their process is just horrible. But with
Yeah,
us, that's all that department does. So
right.
my department's going to take your application, gather all your documents. I'll get you in front of Sandee. She's going to go through the process step by step. She'll even consult with your general contractor. We'll get
Yeah,
everything lined up so you can either buy a home and renovate it right off the bat, or you can have an existing home and we'll be happy to look at a renovation project for you on that as well. Now, in order to do a USDA
absolutely.
renovation, do they have to have a USDA loan already? Sandee?
No, no,
Okay. I didn't hear you. Okay. So
no.
they could have an FHA loan or a conventional loan and still do a USDA renovation.
Well, you can only own one home though, right?
I understand that. If I own
Right.
my home and I have a conventional loan on it, Can I do a USDA renovation?
Yes.
That's what I said. That's the answer. Sandee Lutz, I appreciate you very much. If you have questions about renovation loans, feel free to give us a call. You can reach me in Tampa at 813-213-4009 or Orlando at 407-706-3313. Get your application started right now at webringyouhome.com. You can put it in as a purchase or a refinance. We'll convert it over to a renovation loan at your request. Thank you, Sandee. Have a great weekend. Thanks for this. I'll see you next weekend for FHA.
Sounds great. Thank you, Bruce.
Have a great day.
You too.